Apple and Facebook beats on the top and the bottom line. Apple shipping the most smartphones it's ever shipped. And then Tesla, while the shipments may have been below what people may have thought or whispered about, pretty close to what those people were whispering about. Why are we seeing this big tech sell-off?
Yeah, I think there's obviously what's been spoken on your program for the past 24 hours, a lot of larger forces in motion with the overall market and some of the gross reduction being seen, especially across the hedge fund community. A rough night overnight in Asia, semi-index down over there fell another 4%. Hong Kong tech index fell 4.4%. And clearly it's being led by what's going on in the U.S. But, last night earnings can start with Tesla, as you kind of hinted, the implied growth for fiscal year 21 for deliveries for Tesla. They're aiming for around 750,000 units. That was pretty much just bang in line with expectations and well below it, kind of whispers that crept up to 800,000 units. So that's kind of the source of the weakness with Tesla, as well as margins came in much weaker. And they cited, aggressive price cutting in China, continued, supply chain costs that are rising, globally for almost every auto manufacturer there is. So I can see Tesla, there are things to poke at. For a stock that's gone from $100 less than a year ago, nearly hit 900. It did hit 900 not that long ago. So, for Tesla, I'm watching the 21-day moving average. It's around 802. It's trying to hold there right now. But if it can't hold, you have to think the near-term momentum for Tesla is down closer to the 50-day, around $700. And then for Apple, there's really not much to poke at. As you said, it was a record quarter across the board. iPhone revenues were well ahead of expectations. And the key part of the story, China growth up 57% year over year. There's really not much to poke at. Company was a little bit cautious, moving forward. Services are going to face some steeper comps, which we already know a lot of these tech companies are going to face some serious comps. Just kind of, what we saw, in Q2, Q3 of last year with COVID. But, for me, Apple remains a buy and hold story, fairly straightforward. Install base continues to grow. And it seems like the 5G kind of handset demand it's only been kickstarted, and we'll see robust sales throughout the year.
All right, let's shift from those Wall Street whispers to a group of people making a whole lot of noise, the retail investors on Reddit. Were those some of the larger fortunes you were talking about? And what we're seeing with GameStop and Tootsie Roll and some of these other companies, could that lead to a broader sell-off, especially for tech?
Yeah, it's kind of, no secret. These hedge funds do get together. They talk, whether it's idea dinners or, offline, wherever it may be. There's a reason when you look at some of these stocks, they have short interest well north of 20%. You have the herd mentality on the short side as well, kind of the complete inverse of what we're seeing, from the Reddit army on the long side. And that's kind of, clearly the margin clerks have been making their calls and there's been, gross, the takedown of gross has forced guys to cut their winners and cover their shorts. And it's just kind of been a negative, vicious cycle that we've been seeing, really so aggressively pick up yesterday. And that's really reflective in the VIX kind of jumping, from 21 to 37 in such that short window. We'll see if things stabilize today. But clearly there's a lot of pain out there, especially with the hedge fund community. And we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, a lot of funkiness under the hood in the markets at the moment, to say the least.
You don't hear funkiness on CNBC very often. I'm glad you said that. Turning now to a lot of that concern on Wall Street, a lot of people are going to be looking to go defensive. And I thought it was pretty interesting. Your defensive play was FANG plus Microsoft, but aren't those megatech companies, aren't those the ones that people are actually trying to rotate out of?
Yeah, what I think that the FANG trade has become a lot more, probably the most compelling it has been in quite some time. You pull back some of these charts, and whether it's Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Google's probably been the outperformer. Amazon, these things have been choppy, really going back to the summer, and even more so since kind of the first Pfizer vaccine headlines hit on November 9th. Clearly they've been left behind in the cyclical kind of recovery rotation trade that's been going on. But end of the day, valuations probably is very compelling at these levels for all of the names. And in terms of positioning, I know, JP Morgan's quant guru, Marco Kolanovich, he's been talking about more neutral positioning. Positioning in the FANG, large cap stocks is a lot more neutral than it's been in recent memory. And I think that provides a very opportunistic time to step in and buy these. Facebook's quarter was good. There's some things to pick out in terms of their cautious outlook as well. But ARPU was much better than expected. And again, I think Zuckerberg has been known to take a more cautious stance when talking longer term versus being overly bullish. And so I think these are names you can own without kind of losing sleep at night.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.